Hi there. Welcome back to my podcast, Backseat Positivity. I'm on my own again. Yes, it's a very sad time. Today we're doing trust. I think that's a big part of relationships, and we are currently in the midst of the relationship series. Yes, that is series number 2. Coming next, who knows? I think we've got some other ones which are happiness, friendships, confidence, just like let's make you a better person podcast, positive podcast. Now we talk about negative, like not negative things. We talk about things in a kind of like how can we improve them, and then in the end I bring in like a nice positive story. But today I've actually got something a little bit different as well, because I was going to go through Reddit and answer some questions on Reddit. That's at the end of this podcast. So there are different kinds of relationships. We've already talked about this. I will cover both romantic and friendship relationships, because not all of you that are listening will have a romantic relationship, and that's fine. I want to be all inclusive, just like a nice cheap Spanish holiday, all inclusive. So what is trust? Do you know what? I've written down like these sub points, and then I was like, don't actually know what I'm going to say for that. So this is all improvised. Okay, what is trust? I guess it's feeling like, I'm trying not to use the word trust in this definition, feeling as if I might need to cut this out. Feeling as if you can count on somebody. Feeling as if you told them something private or something that you didn't, like a secret, that they're not going to go and tell somebody. That is what I think of in trust. But also, I guess it's like looking out for your best interests, and do you trust them to put your interests at the forefront of their mind as well? And how do you know if you can trust somebody? Good question. I guess that's what we're answering today. Because I've had a lot of situations where I thought I could trust people, and I've learned over the years that sometimes you can't and sometimes you can. And also I've written down, is trust important? I think it is. Personally, I think it's one of the biggest parts of a relationship, friendship or romantic relationship. When I say relationship, I'm just going to talk about both unless otherwise specified, okay? Again, I've got my woolly, it's actually not a woolly hat, it might be made of wool, but it's got some kind of foil thing in it. I've talked about it before in one of my videos. I can't remember if it's a podcast or not, but anyway, keeps your head very warm. It's blooming freezing, I'm telling you. I've only just put the heating on. One day you'll see me without all of these layers on, but for now, you're going to have to cope with me shivering. I've also not eaten properly today, I wouldn't say. So I've been naughty and I've ordered some takeaway food, which is coming in about half an hour. So we've only got half an hour. So let's get on with it. I think half an hour is long enough for a podcast that you're talking to yourself on. I have done hour podcasts where I've just talked to myself, but podcasting 3 times a week, half an hour is enough. Yeah, it is. An hour and a half talking. It always ends up being over half an hour. Anyway, sorry, I digress again. But look, you sign up for me chatting shit as well, okay? You don't just sign up for me talking in a linear fashion, okay? You're going to sign up for the stories. You're signing up for my personality. Sorry, you are. and you're signing up for a non-linear thought process, because unfortunately that is me. It is. I'm sorry. But yeah, I've always got a lot of stories to tell. I've always loved stories. Always. My dad used to read me stories before I went to bed, and it was like the best part of the day. Bed and stories in one. Sign me up. I'm ready. Like, nobody reads me stories anymore. And I always find that the sleep stories, on like the sleeping apps, they're like 45 minutes long. No, I want a 10 or 15 minute story. I don't want a 45-minute story. I'm not lying in bed for 45 minutes, although I probably should, to like wind down from this glaring light for a start. I've also changed the position of the light, if you hadn't noticed. So it's now not over there, which it shouldn't have been anyway, but I've moved it to here because now there's no shadow. But anyway, why do I chat so much shit? I'm so sorry. But look, people sign up for this, don't they? Whatever. Or maybe you just didn't know what you're getting yourselves into. So I'm very sorry if that's the case. You can click off now, but you're 6.5 minutes in. So I feel like you've committed that much of your time, and it may get funner. So you never know what opportunities lie around the corner. Okay, let me tell you, again, I haven't actually pre-thought this. Planning is not necessarily my forte. So let me try and think of a story where, God, I've had lots of people that I've not trusted. I don't know if I want to tell them. I will, but because they make for good stories. Okay, so if you haven't listened to, there's one very good story which is about trust, lack of trust. In another episode, it is the Tinder episode. It's the ugly, the third one of the Tinder series. Unfortunately, if you're watching on YouTube, I don't know what happened to the footage, so it's not actually on YouTube. Ooh, exclusive. It's only on podcast. No, wait. That is a lie. That is a big fat lie, because out of the 3 of them, it was the good that I lost the video for. I don't know where it went. I think I probably deleted it by accident. I delete all of my footage after I've uploaded, but that one skipped the system. I don't know what happened to it. I definitely recorded it though. But so yeah, you can go and watch it if you're on YouTube. I'll maybe link it in the cards here so you can go find it, or I'll link it at the end. Is probably a better idea. But yeah, that one's got a fairly juicy lack of trust story in it. But I guess maybe I'll talk about another one. Okay, let's do it. Fuck it. So, how much do I want to divulge? The thing is, I don't mind telling the story. The issue for me is that I don't want other people to know who I'm talking about. And it's pretty rare that person is going to be listening and go, "Oh, that's me." To be honest, what's the consequence if they are listening and they go, "Oh, that's me"? Actually, nothing. And to be honest, they're in the wrong. So, fuck it. Let's do it. Okay, so I guess I was like 12, right? And this starts out a bit of a weird story, okay? 12, 13-year-old me, approximately. And this guy what is wrong with, I don't want to just shit on men, okay? But what is wrong with men? I understand there are some weird females out there, or, weird other people out there. But let's just talk about, my experiences are with men. So what is wrong with men? What is wrong with them? I think he was in his mid-20s at the time. Like, come on. I'm like, wait there. 13, 14. He's in his mid-20s. And he's like, I think he just liked the attention. He's like flirting with me, saying, and I'm not a sexy 13-year-old. Like, no, I'm not. There were a few of them, that sounds weird. There were a few of my friends that were much better looking than me. But I guess maybe, I don't know. I guess maybe I just knew this person better and like they didn't know my friends. But whatever. Anyway, I wasn't a sexy 13-year-old and this person was like almost double my age. So what is going on there? But anyway, he's like flirting with me and trying to, he has a girlfriend who's pregnant. Like, okay. Obviously, I don't know, I'm quite young. I don't really, the excitement is just exciting. So, and obviously I am thinking like, oh, you have a girlfriend, right? So, but yeah, flirting. He's always like teetering on the edge of like, this isn't okay. And he's trying to like make me believe that he's gonna like sleep with me or whatever. Let's just put it out there, okay? He never does until I think like 18. And then I don't know how, but like we get back in touch or whatever, and he tells me he's not with the person. He's with a different person now, of course. He tells me he's not with that person. So I'm like, okay, like you've obviously got to believe them, right? You can't go and do a bloody MI6 fact-checking investigation. Like, that's not your problem. If they've said, I'm not with this person anymore, like, I don't see it as your responsibility to go and find that out. Unless you know obviously otherwise, unless you're like, no, you haven't. And they're like, yeah, I have. And then you're like, oh, that's a bit weird. Like, I don't believe them. But I just believe this person, So, yeah, it tells me he's not with this, his girlfriend anymore. So he's like, I think the other thing is he said, oh, he came over and then he was like, oh, after we had some friendship, he's like, oh, I'm gonna go to the shop quickly. And then, so before he came, as in came to my house, oh god, before he came to my house, he was like, oh, I'll stay over or whatever. I don't know whether that was to convince me that he was a good person or whatever, or for me to trust him. I don't know. But anyway, he leaves later on that evening and says, yeah, I'm just going to go to the shop. I'll be back. And then silence. No, he doesn't communicate via message anymore. I don't hear from him. He then just disappears into the abyss. And I was like, oh, cool. Okay. So this person is probably still extremely good at lying. I still to this day don't know if him and his girlfriend were together at the time. I don't think they were, but again, I don't know. I personally don't hold that against myself. I would hold that against him, but come at me, whatever, I don't care. And yeah, he is very good at making you trust him and making you believe what he's saying. I don't know what it is. He's just a really good liar. I think because I'm such a shit liar, I never know, and that's a great quality that I have maybe not for me, but definitely for other people. Because I'm such a shit liar, I don't know how to lie or how to spot people that are lying. I just can't comprehend it in my head. So I'm a bit worried that this food's going to come. Okay, still got 15 minutes apparently. Anyway, so he's a very good liar. I find it difficult to tell when a good liar is lying, like to look at them and go, you're lying. The way that I figure out that somebody is lying is because their story doesn't add up. Maybe I've just become less naive over time. I was 18. What do you know at 18? Not that much. So 10 years later, I've definitely become a lot more wary of people, especially wary of people who are trying to, like, men who are trying to probably have sex with you. They will sometimes, look, I don't want to generalize, okay? Just from some of my experiences, not all men are like this. They will generally say anything to get what they want. So that's a sad fact. So yeah, I tell by people, their story's not adding up. People, if you really, I think maybe this is just because I'm a doctor, but people change their story, right? So either it doesn't add up, and I think this is just a skill that I've picked up over time. I think if your gut feels like you don't trust them, then there's something up. Now look, yes, there might be people who, let's say I've been cheated on in the past, my trust radar is on high alert. Now your radar of things not adding up might be a little bit off because of that. Just be aware of that. That doesn't mean it's wrong. That just means that it's a little bit more sensitive. So you don't want to jump the gun at everybody that gives you like a little bit of especially if you've just been cheated on or had some kind of lack of trust in your life. Like maybe just talk to your friends or have a think before acting rashly. Now obviously if you have active evidence that somebody has cheated on you and they are telling you that they haven't, and you're like, I don't know, somebody has like messaged you and said, I'm sorry, I just found out that your husband is actually like married and I had sex with him last week. Like, not many people would message you and say that maliciously. Like, they're probably telling the truth, because realistically, what have they got to lose? I don't know. There are probably people that have done that, and that's just a bit of a dick move, but there we go. So it's difficult because I always have a radar if people have lied in the past. Now, there's a difference between like big lies and small lies, you know. I didn't eat your Baby Bells. Small lie. Inconsequential. But I still wouldn't lie about it. Sorry, Tom, I ate your Baby Bells. But big lies, did I why have you like messaged that girl on Instagram? Oh, because I wanted to photo shoot her for a modelling photo shoot, and that's a complete lie. I'm literally just pulling shit out of my ass right here. The first thing that came to my head, if you're a photographer, for example, then, you know, and you've actually like, you're messaging them to try and meet up to like sleep with them, then that's, you know, that's a black lie, not a white lie. I don't know what the opposite to a white lie is. It's a dark lie. Anyway, I always think if somebody has lied before, then they'll lie again. And I think the difference is if somebody shows no remorse for it, you know, if somebody's lied and been like caught out, or they've come to you and been like, I'm really sorry, I lied about that, and they show, you know, that kind of shows remorse, then you're like, okay, fine, you lied, you messed up. People can mess up, okay? They can mess up, realise their mistake. And I do think that accounts for alcohol as well, because people do make mistakes when they're drunk. But if you go, I'm so sorry, I really fucked up, I want to make it up to you, I do think you could trust somebody again. I don't think all is lost, personally, but I do think it's hard to forget that. I get it. But the difference is when somebody says, holds the lie till the bitter end and goes, no, I didn't sleep with that person, no, I didn't, even when you've caught them out and you're like, come on. Or, you know, no, I was definitely single at that point, and then you've happened to speak to the person they were in a relationship with, and you're like, well, I actually know that you weren't single, but you said you were. And they're like, no, I was. Like, they're lying. You're like, come on, like, I don't believe you. So I think finding liars and like finding out who to trust is unfortunately a game of trial and error. You have to be fucked over to learn who you can't trust. And once that person's fucked me over, and that's kind of like it, I'm not going to give you another chance anymore. I've been burnt in the past. I've figured it out. All right. It's the same with cheating. I'm sorry. There are people out there who have cheated and, you know, may have reformed themselves. I understand that. But for me, I'm like, okay, let's say, for example, they were drunk. They didn't think they would be that bothered about it. It was the start of a relationship or something, and things that, you know, whatever. They're really sorry about it. They tell you, and they feel really bad about it. They actually look like they're showing remorse. In that case, I think there's remit to try again. But if they do it once behind your back and don't own up to it and show no remorse for it, it's a different story. Then if they do it again and pretend, you know, some people do pretend that they're like, oh, I'm so sorry, I can't believe I did that, blah, blah, blah. Oh, it was a mistake. But if you do it twice, is it really a mistake? No, I don't think it is. I think you probably don't feel that bad about it. So yeah, that's my 2 cents. Let's talk about friendship trust, because I once sent my friend £2,000, which I think is I didn't even question it. I was like, yeah, it'll be fine. Like, just send her £2,000. I asked her to buy me something, and bring it to my house where she was coming, because she was in town, and I was like, oh, you know, just makes sense, doesn't it? £2,000 is a lot to send to somebody. You have to really trust them, and I did trust this person. Now I guess the question is, how did I know to trust them? Well, firstly, I think they were sleeping at my house, so did they have much choice? I don't know. But also, I'd known that person for a really long time. It'd been a long track record of them not fucking up and them proving themselves to be trustworthy, you know, keeping secrets, or not that I have like secrets, but, you know, not telling everybody my private information, or just holding up to doing things that they say that they're going to do. You know, well, I'll meet you on Monday. Well, they met me on Monday. I know that they're trustworthy. Okay, we forgot about breaking like promises and stuff. That's another part of trust, because there are people who say that they will do things over and over again, and to be honest, if they continue to fail to do it, I'm like, fuck you. Like, I don't trust you anymore. And to be honest, if I don't trust somebody, why are they still in my life? I think when I was younger, I probably just would have let that go and just been like, oh, okay, next time. Yeah, like, fair enough. I mean, yeah, fair enough. People have excuses, like, or they have situations that crop up. But if they do it 2 or 3 times, they clearly don't care that much about what they've done, or the fact that that's a shitty thing to do. Like, you have organised plans. You don't just go, yeah, I'm not coming. Sorry. Oh, I've got this, like, other thing that's suddenly come up. You're not their priority. You can't trust them. Just my opinion, but I don't think it's unpopular. Okay, let's make this a real quick Q&A type thing. Nobody's asking me for my A, but I'm going to answer them anyway. So I've just gone onto a Reddit, a relationship advice. I don't really use Reddit, but I do have it because some people do use it. Oh, that was a really shit. Like, there was no point in me saying that. Okay. Oh, right. This is a good one, okay? Oh no! It says it's been removed, but... Oh. Okay, well, it's actually still there. I don't know. So, the title is, he said he took Viagra for fun. Okay, so let's just unpick that title for a second. Firstly, taking Viagra for fun is fine, okay? I get that. Like, I've never taken it, but if you're with your mates, it's like, ha ha ha, I've got a boner. Like, whatever. I think, in fact, let's just get into the story, right? I found a pack of Viagra in my partner's bag after he came back from Vegas. I need like a little red flag. We'll use this. It's a Friday microfiber cloth. It's from Tiger. This is my red flag, okay? After he came back from Vegas, red flag number 1. Somebody's, Vegas? Like, that's not a place that you go and take Viagra for fun, I don't think, anyway. There were 2 missing pills. When I approached it about him, he froze for like 3 seconds. If you're not watching, I'm fucking waving my flag, okay? He froze for 3 seconds and said, oh, I got it from a friend. That was such a British way to say that. Oh, I got it from a friend. Oh, I got it from a friend. We both took one to see what it does. Okay, well, that story kind of adds up, doesn't it? Because there were 2 missing. And, you both took one, right? But if they're his, you got it from a friend, they're his, then why have you still got the remaining? Actually, to be fair, I don't know. It says there are 2 missing. So in my head, there's like 8 in a packet or whatever. I don't know. And there's 2 missing. It's not like there were only 2 of 2 in a packet and there were 2 missing. You could just say there were none left. Like, that would make more sense. But anyway, so from that, I'm kind of decoding that there were more than 2 in a packet and there were some left still. So if your friend gave them to you, I got it from my friend, they're going to keep the extras, surely. They're not going to go, here, have the whole packet and give me 1. Like, really? Anyway, red flag. He got angry with me. I mean, to be fair, maybe he was just upset. Like, he's like, fuck, but also, if I feel like you're going to get angry if you've got something to hide, surely. Started yelling that I'm picking a fight with him. We have 2 kids, he's in his mid-30s, should I believe him? He kept telling me he didn't do anything, he didn't cheat, and it was just see how long he'd get erect. My gut feeling is telling me not to trust him. If your gut feeling is telling you not to trust him, sorry, I don't think you should trust him. I think they'd written later on, just to say, oh, here we go. I didn't think he would do something like this after I gave him chances early on in our relationship when he cheated. There's literally so many red flags in this. I'm sorry, Bubbles Pop 327. I think he probably cheated on you. That's a sad fact. Okay. Ooh, I haven't actually read this one, but I'm kind of looking forward to it. Not in like a horrible way. Paranoid that wife has infidelity red flags is the title. Wondering, these are 31-year-old male, 28-year-old wife. So this is written by the man. Wondering if I'm seeing red flags or if I'm just paranoid. Okay, it's not too long. Wife swears she's never cheated, though she still keeps in contact with a male friend she had sex with ages ago. I'm aware of it, and in order to not be controlling, I have accepted it. Though recently I found she was hiding the fact that they talk from me in order to not cause conflict. There were some insecurities on my part in the past. She's a homebody, pretty much never goes out, very introverted, and pretty much a couch potato at times, so I don't think she goes out and cheats. This is a one-off thing. Fast forward, for months I asked if she could shave down there, and she never did it. This is a preference from time to time, as I like to... Okay, this is getting quite graphic. As I like to please her, and it gets in the way sometimes. I accept her for who she is when she doesn't shave, but sometimes it's nice, like a nice little treat, nice little pubic treat. I asked for my birthday. It never happened. 4 months later, all of a sudden, she's going on a 4-day trip. She decided to shave. It was a work trip, but she stayed in contact with me when she had breaks, so I appreciate that. However, in preparation for the trip, she shaves her vagina, legs, armpits. I'd like to say she's not shaving her vagina, she's shaving her vulva, because you can't shave your vagina, it's internal. But now I know this is normal behaviour in general, but to go years without doing it, then all of a sudden you do it for a solo trip is kind of sketchy. We've gone places before and she doesn't do that. Only seems she did it on the solo trip. We spoke when she had breaks, but we were also on a 3-hour time difference, so not saying we have a chance to communicate all the time. Now, when she gets back, she insists on unpacking her clothes herself. Next day I come home, find a pair of panties with a hole in the crotch. Weird, but we have a dog, so I assume the dog ate the crotch. Granted, it's very weird the dog would eat the crotch when this never happened before, only after a solo trip. Any advice? Edit. She did not shave her vag. She got a Brazilian and the panties were relatively new that I purchased. The hole was a large hole, the size of a dollar coin. I mean, you could fit your fingers through, so it was food tier. Insignificant old worn pantyhose. Okay, I'm back. Oh, I'm so hungry, so I'm going to make this fairly quick. I think it's a complicated situation. Look, people change, okay? When I met Tom, I was a doctor. Then I make a sudden decision to change ship. Does that mean that I'm like changing as a person or doing something a little bit weird? I know, I understand it's not like self-care stuff, but look, it's the start of the year. I guess it wasn't the start of the year at that point, but in my opinion, people change, and I think I'd need more details about this, you know? I think... God, it's quite complicated. Right, let's just start from the beginning, okay? I think it's okay to keep in contact with a male friend that you had sex with ages ago. But were you friends before, or did you just have sex and then like you knew each other because of that? I think if you were friends before and then had sex like once, or you know, whatever, or got in a relationship and then just became friends after, that's like fine. I think it's a bit more sus if somebody, I'm sorry, I'm going to eat onion rings. I'm so hungry. It'd be like some food ASMR. So, ooh. Yeah, I think it's a different story if it's like a one-time thing, or like you know each other because of sex. Bit of a weird sentence, but or if it's like you knew each other as friends, then you had sex. So again, I don't know that. So this guy is aware of the fact that he's controlling, or might have been controlling in the past. I don't know how he recently found out that they were talking again. That's another unknown fact. She has changed her behaviour recently. Now, I don't know if she's got a new job or whatever, but she went on a work trip, but it was a solo trip. Look, if you're going on a work trip rather than a trip with your boyfriend, I would argue that you would go and like pamper yourself a little bit, because you might be going by the pool, or you might be wearing a skirt or something like that. But I guess to get a Brazilian, maybe a little bit far. I guess the way that he is portraying this, it does seem a bit suspicious. Also, I'd completely forgotten about the fact that she wanted to unpack her clothes herself, which I don't think that is that weird. If I've got dirty laundry in there, I don't want my boyfriend going rifling around in my like stinky socks and stuff. Also, why would you, I don't know, Tom would never like, let me unpack your bag for you. Now, this is a bit weird. The next day I come home and find a pair of panties under the bed. I want to know how you found them. I want to know, were you like looking for something odd, or like how did you come to find them? Were they hidden? There's just so many questions unanswered here. I can't, let's go into the comments. No doubt there are red flags here, but be sure before you accuse. I mean, how do you get, like, big pant crotch hole? Like, that is a bit suspicious. In new pants as well. I mean, even in old pants, it wouldn't just suddenly erupt a hole in the middle of your crotch. It's not unheard of for, I suppose, your dog to do that, which might mean that it's under the bed. My dogs have, when they were younger, eaten like my socks and stuff. But they, if you've got a dog that might do that, but dogs are they're a bit habitual as well. If they didn't do it once, or if they haven't done it before, then they're, it's not like a habit, and you're not like, oh, they're a sock eater, or a crotch eater. Yeah, I think a lot of people are saying kind of what I'm saying, like it's a bit on the fence. You don't really have any true evidence. You're just going to kind of get someone's back up if you're like asking loads of questions, especially if you've had issues with like control and trust in the past. No one shaves their pubes for a work trip. Ooh. Yeah, I mean, someone said if your dog got hold of them, they'd be totally shredded. You wouldn't just, well, you might eat the middle out. Well, that was a weird sentence again. Because I think dogs kind of go for the, like, ickiest bit, don't they? So they would probably, like, eat, I've got, in my dressing gown, I've got a hole, like, right here from where Bailey ate a hole in my dressing gown. So I don't think that's that unusual that it would like be shredded rather than a hole in there. Yeah, someone said unless it's somewhere with a beach. There's so many questions that I need to know. It is a bit suspicious, but I think there's more facts you need to glean. Okay, let's do one more. Oh my god. Okay, this is really long. I don't think I can say all of this one. These are complicated. Okay, this one's short. Right, let's go for this one. One more onion ring. Okay. Male 30. I found something about my girlfriend, female 38. My girlfriend and I met on Tinder, and after a week of chatting, we agreed to meet. After we'd gone to the bar for drinks, I keep pausing because a lot of this grammar and spelling isn't right, so I have to figure out what they're saying. After we'd gone to the bar for drinks, we checked into a hotel and had sex. The next day we were chatting, and then suddenly she asked me if I'd ever had mind-blowing sex. Weird fucking question after you just had sex. You'd be like, surely you'd want to be like, yeah, last night. But I mean, no one's sex is ever mind-blowing after the first time. And if you think that is the case, it's not. Okay, you need to learn each other, right? I told her no. Savage. No, I've never had mind-blowing sex, even though we had sex last night. I told her no, then asked her the same question. She said yes, with her ex friends with benefits. I just acknowledged it and ignored it after. After a month of going out and having sex, I fell for her, and she said she'd felt the same way. The thing is, one day she told me that her ex FWB was chatting with her and told me she just ignored him. After an argument, she told me that she had to come clean. She spoke to him, but it was work-related because they're in the same field. I said, okay, then I asked her about that guy and found out that every time she ends up in a relationship, she always hooks up with that guy. How do you know that? Did she tell you? At least for her past 3 relationships. After that, I somehow lost trust on her. Yeah, not somehow, fucking duh. Of course you're going to lose trust in her. She just told you that she cheats in all of her relationships with this same guy, and now she is talking to that one guy. Red flag. Okay? What comes next is rather reassuring. Became a bit paranoid and asked her questions. The thing is that her answers were not consistent, and she knows it because I checked her all the time, telling her that's not what she formally said. It's a common police technique, okay? Police interviewing technique, where you ask somebody something, you've got it documented. If they say something different, if they say, yeah, I was in the pizza store, and then next, a week later, they say, oh no, I was in B&Q. They don't notice that they've changed their answer or whatever. That's suspicious. It's a sign that people are lying. Because they forget their previous story. I got fed up with all the lies and broke up with her. She begged and cried for me to stay, telling me that what she felt for me was real. And she spent so many years looking for that feeling again. She sounds like a dick. Someone said, what's your question? If you're looking for someone else's opinion on your situation, yeah, I think I would have done the same thing. Yeah, me too. Yeah. That sounds like you dodged a bullet there. What's your name? Throw raw overthink. Well done. So I think that concludes. I quite enjoyed that. I think I'm going to do that next time, reacting to some Reddit comments. Well, you could let me know if you thought that was like a good thing or not. I don't know. But anyway, thanks so much for listening all the way to the end. If you did on YouTube, then I don't know, comment onion rings. Comment onion rings, and I will send you an onion ring for free. Just to let me know that you got to the section with the onion rings. Anyway, I need to go and eat. I'm starving. You know when you're so hungry that your stomach starts hurting? That's where I'm at. Anyway, thanks guys. Love you. Bye.